99% of you are being tracked, indexed, and prepared for a financial harvest you don't even see coming, while you are distracted by the hustle culture and the performance of fake wealth on your phone. The truly powerful have activated the Ghost Protocol. They are deleting their digital footprints, moving their assets into the shadows, and disappearing from the system. They aren't just rich, they are becoming untouchable. By the end of this video, you will understand why the Great Wealth Reset of 2026 is designed to wipe out the visible middle class, while the silent elite move into a new era of total sovereignty. If you aren't prepared to move in silence, you are already a target. Subscribe now or stay a victim of the noise. We aren't talking about saving money or buying index funds. That's the lie they feed the masses to keep them in the pen. We are talking about the architecture of invisibility. In an age of total surveillance and social credit scores, your likes are liabilities and your status is a tax. The Stoic millionaire has realized that in 2026, the ultimate flex is not being a celebrity, it is being a ghost. They own the companies you work for, the debt you carry, and the data you generate, but you will never find their name on a Forbes list. They have mastered the art of strategic anonymity. And today, for the first time, we are pulling back the curtain on the secret psychology of the ghost empire. Why is this happening now? Because the world has become too loud. The visibility tax has become too high. When you show the world what you have, you are effectively giving a map to every predator, from the tax man to the digital hacker to the envious mob. The elite have realized that presence is a weakness, absence is a superpower. They are practicing a form of modern Stoicism that doesn't just manage emotions, it manages the entire reality of their existence. This is a game of high-stakes psychological warfare, and if you are still playing by the old rules of personal branding, you are losing a game you didn't even know was being played. The first pillar of the Ghost Protocol is the death of the public persona. In the next 12 months, your digital identity will be used as a weapon against you. Every post you've ever made, every location you've ever tagged, and every purchase you've ever tracked is being compiled into a risk profile. The Stoic millionaire doesn't fight this, they opt out. They are currently engaged in what we call digital scorched earth. They are hiring specialized firms to purge their data from every broker on the planet, using deep, fake technology to create digital decoys and operating through non-attributable entities. Think about this. If you have $10 million and a public Instagram, you are a target for every kidnapping ring, every frivolous lawsuit, and every government grab in the world. But if you have $100 million and the world thinks you are a retired librarian living in a modest apartment, you have zero surface area for attack. This is the law of reduced surface area. The Stoic millionaire treats their life like a submarine. They dive deep, they turn off the sonar, and they move through the dark. They use encrypted hardware that the average person has never even heard of. They communicate through dead drops and localized mesh networks. They aren't just private, they are technically non-existent to the mainstream grid. The psychological release that comes with this invisibility is the real wealth. When you stop performing for the algorithm, your brain chemistry changes. You move from a state of performance anxiety to a state of strategic observation. You are no longer the prey being watched. You are the predator watching the field. The Ghost Protocol requires you to kill your ego. Most people can't do it. They need the likes. They need the thank you for your service. The Stoic millionaire finds their validation in the silence of their own fortress. They realize that a secret empire is 10 times more powerful than a public one because a secret empire can never be seized by a mob. The second pillar is the vibe neutrality strategy. This is the gray man concept applied to the elite. In 2026, if you look like money, you are a walking ATM for the system. The Stoic millionaire has mastered the art of looking invisible. They wear clothes that cost more than your car, but they have no logos, no recognizable patterns, and no status markers. They drive vehicles that are safe, high performance, but look like every other SUV in the parking lot. This isn't just about safety, it's about information dominance. When you look average, people reveal their true intentions. They don't try to impress you. They don't try to scam you. They don't try to network with you. You get to see the raw, unedited character of every human you encounter. This is the ultimate filter. The elite use this filter to build their shadow councils. These are small, hyper-loyal groups of allies who have been vetted over decades. These circles are not built on LinkedIn connections. They are built on blood, trust, and shared values. In the Great Wealth Reset, your social capital is your only true protection. But that capital must be built in the dark. Furthermore, vibe neutrality allows for geopolitical camouflage. A Stoic millionaire can move from a protest-torn city to a high-end luxury resort without drawing a single eye. They blend into the background of any environment. While the new rich are busy trying to stand out, true rich are busy trying to disappear. They understand that in a world of increasing inequality and social unrest, looking rich is a death sentence. They practice stealth wealth, not out of shame, but out of a cold, calculated understanding of human envy. Envy is the most dangerous emotion in the financial world. The Ghost Protocol ensures that envy never has a target to hit. The third pillar is jurisdictional sovereignty. This is where the philosophy gets technical. The average person is a resident of a country. The Stoic millionaire is a user of a country. They treat nations like service providers. If a service provider becomes too expensive, too intrusive, or too unstable, they switch providers. This is the flag theory taken to its extreme. They hold 3 or more passports. Their wealth is held in private vaults in jurisdictions with no extradition or tax treaties, and their physical presence is fluid. In 2026, the concept of home is a trap. If you are tied to one piece of land, you are a hostage. The Ghost Protocol dictates that you must be able to move your entire life, your family, your capital, and your operations across a border in under 24 hours. This requires physical liquidity. They don't own trophy properties that take 2 years to sell. They own high-yield, liquid assets, and they rent their lifestyle. They would rather pay $50,000 a month for a penthouse they can walk away from tomorrow than own a $50 million estate that keeps them chained to a failing jurisdiction. This level of mobility creates a psychological state of global detachment. They don't get angry at politics because they aren't affected by it. They don't care about local tax changes because they don't pay them. They have ascended to a level of legal autonomy that the masses can't even imagine. They are the sovereign individuals that philosophers have been predicting for decades. They use the Stoic principle of premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, to prepare for the collapse of any single system. They are the only ones who will remain calm when the banks close and the borders tighten. They already have the keys to the next room. The fourth pillar is time arbitrage and cognitive liberty. Most people are selling their time for dollars, which is the worst trade in human history. The Stoic millionaire is buying back their time to protect their cognitive liberty. In a world where your attention is being auctioned off to the highest bidder by big tech, the ability to think deeply for 4 hours a day is the ultimate competitive advantage. They call this the deep work fortress. They don't have notifications. They don't have breaking news. They don't have meetings that don't result in a 7-figure outcome. They hire information filters, highly trained assistants whose only job is to protect the principal's mind from the noise of the world. If you can reach a millionaire on their personal phone, they aren't a millionaire, they are a servant. The Ghost Protocol requires you to be unreachable. This unreachability creates a vacuum that draws in high-value opportunities. When you are hard to find, people bring you their best deals because they know your time is the most expensive commodity on the planet. This leads to strategic patience. While the market is panicking over the latest Fed announcement or a crypto crash, the Stoic millionaire is reading a book from 2,000 years ago or walking in a forest. They aren't in the market. They are above it. They wait for the moment of maximum chaos to deploy their capital. Because they aren't emotionally invested in the noise, they see the patterns that everyone else misses. They practice non-action, Wu Wei, as a financial strategy. They realize that most of the world's problems come from people's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. The Ghost Protocol is built on the power of that quiet room. The fifth pillar is the weaponization of silence. In the financial world, information is the only real weapon. Most people leak information constantly. They talk about their moves. They share their strategies, and they brag about their profits. The Stoic millionaire understands that silence is an asset. Every time you speak, you give away your position. Every time you explain your strategy, you invite competition. The Ghost Protocol mandates a zero information policy. They use proxy negotiations. They never show up to buy the land or the company themselves. They send a face, a professional negotiator who looks and acts the part but has no skin in the game. This prevents price gouging and keeps the true buyer's identity hidden. They transcat in private markets, the deals that never hit the news, the investments that are done behind closed doors between the silent elite. By the time the public hears about a trend, the Stoic millionaire has already exited with a 500% profit. This silence extends to their legacy. They don't want their name on buildings. They don't want foundations that serve their ego. They want generational stealth. They teach their children how to be ghosts. They teach them that the greatest power is the power you don't have to prove. They raise quiet lions in the Great Wealth Reset of 2026. The families that survive will be the ones that no one remembers. They will be the ones who own the infrastructure of the new world, while the masses are still fighting over the scraps of the old one. The final pillar is the internal sanctuary. This is where the ghost protocol meets the core of Stoicism. All the money, all the passports, and all the privacy in the world mean nothing if you are still a slave to your own fears. The Stoic millionaire knows that the ultimate reset is the one that happens inside your own mind. They practice extreme detachment. They live their lives with the constant awareness that everything they have built could be taken away in an instant. They aren't attached to their ghost empire. They are attached to their virtue. They know that if they were stripped naked and thrown into a foreign prison, they would still be the most powerful person in the room because they own their own mind. This is the internal sovereignty that makes them truly dangerous to the system. You cannot control a man who is not afraid to lose. You cannot manipulate a woman who finds joy in the simplest of things. The Great Wealth Reset of 2026 is not just a financial event, it is a psychological filter. It will separate the performers from the power players. It will wipe out those who built their lives on the shifting sands of public approval and reward those who built their fortresses in the silence of the shadows. The question you have to ask yourself today is, are you ready to kill your ego to save your life? Are you ready to become a ghost? The world is getting louder. The surveillance is getting tighter. The noise is becoming deafening. But for those who follow the ghost protocol, the future is silent, secure, and sovereign. Build your empire. Protect your time. Master your soul. And for heaven's sake, move in silence. 2.